Hi guys, welcome back to Bookmas Day 7. If you're new here, my name is Benita and I'm so happy to have you joining me today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my most anticipated release for 2026 because we are there. We are actually there. We're going into 2026, which still seems really mad to me. A lot of these books are part of series that I've not even started yet, but I'm excited for their release anyway because I feel like before the release date maybe I will have read them. I don't know. I have 28 books, and bearing in mind we don't have every single release for next year yet, so most of these are released from Q1, maybe a few from Q3, Q4, but there are a lot of books for Q3 and Q4 and have not been released yet. So definitely grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into this. Because we have 28 books to talk about, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm just going to tell you the few information I know about these books. Light Wilder, which is the second book in the Fire and Metal series. This is the sequel to Metal Slinker, which I really enjoyed. The book in general was a nice book. This is a duology, so this book is the last book in the series, and I am very looking forward to this. I have a lot of thoughts about Metal Slinker, especially the ending. The ending was so impactful that I feel like if that was done on purpose and not for shock value, Light Wilder is going to be insane. Ride of the Starling, which is the second book in the Shield of Sparrow series. So the first book in the series, I think it's called Shield of Sparrow actually, it's a new romantasy series. Again, I haven't read the first book yet. I have the e-copy of this and I also have the audio book of this as well. So there's actually nothing stopping me from actually listening to it or reading it. I'm just going to run through this as quickly as possible because if I don't, we'll be here for hours. Wildcard by Stephanie Archer, which is the fifth book in the Vancouver Storm series. I've only read one book in that series. It's the Oki Romance Interconnected series. The first book in the series, I really enjoyed that. And I still have 3 more books to keep up with before I get to this. I have 2 of those books on my physical TBR as well. So I'm excited for this release. I think this one follows, oh my god, this is a coach one. Oh my god, this is not about the place, the coach. Oh my god, this is exciting because I'm going to talk about another book which is I'm excited to see that is also about a coach as well. So I'm like, this might be the year for the coaches. Oh my god. So this is quite interesting. Coach Tate, I don't remember him at all. Again, I've only read the first book, so I'm not really sure, but I'm excited for that release. If I don't read any book on this list, I'm definitely going to be reading this one, and it's The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez, which is the second book in the Say You Remember Me series. You guys know that Say You Remember Me series was one of my favorite books from 2025, and I love Abby Jimenez. I just love the way she writes. She's very good at writing real life situations, serious topics in her books, and I just love the way she writes. I love the way she builds her characters. It just feels like a realistic love story, so I'm very excited for this one. This one is a bit different though. It's Boyfriend's Best Friend, which I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite though, because I just can't deal with all the anxiety and the torture that goes with loving someone from afar kind of thing. So I'm gonna really struggle with this, but I feel like Abby Jimenez will do this great, so I'm looking forward to see how she takes that on. Is Now Back to You. This is also part of a series, if I'm not wrong. Okay, yeah, that's fine, that's correct. So basically this is the second book in the Art Stream series. The first book was First Time Caller, which is basically like a radio show kind of thing. So I think so. Obviously Back to You is like Back to You in the studio kind of thing, so I kind of get that. I've only read one book by this author ever, and that book was actually quite nice. It was like I think it was Christmas Tree Farm. I read that around Christmas time last year, and I think these are interconnected standalone, so I can pick this book up anytime of the year. Also, the first book I haven't read yet, so yeah. King of Gluttony by Anna Wong. So this book is the 6th book in the King of Sin series. I've read every single book in that series. To be fair, the last book, which was King of Envy, I was really looking for that one. I was hoping that was going to be my favorite book because it was a lot darker, but I didn't really enjoy that book as much as I thought I would. That book was not my favorite at all, but I'm hoping this one would be better, even though I have no idea what this book is about. It doesn't even say what the MMC or FMC is in this book, so I guess that will be a surprise for us, but I'm excited to carry on with the series because I've enjoyed it so far. I've enjoyed majority of the books so far, not all the books, but majority of them. The Daisy Chain Flower Shop, which is part of the Dream Arbor series, so the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, Christmas Tree Farm, which is right behind me, that series basically. This is the 6th book in that series. I've not read every single book in that series. I'm actually quite behind with that series, if I'm being honest. I've only read the first 3 books. Another book I'm looking forward to is basically from an author I've never read before, but it's always been on my radar, and I think a lot of her books will be great for the summer or springtime. I think majority of them are YA. I don't know why I've never reached for them. There's so many books on my radar, but I think I might like this one better. It's called The Perfect Storm. Also, I think she writes stories that break your heart, which is kind of why I've not really reached for them, because I don't think I've ever been in the mood for that kind of tortures. I don't even know what writing style is or anything like that, but I think maybe this is the book I'll pick up. The Last King of Fays, which is the first book in the Wicked Power series by Cassandra Clare. So I think this is the new series that Cassandra Clare is going to start next year. I'm really looking forward to this one. This is the final trilogy in the Shadow of Hunters Chronicles. So there's so many like series from this entire universe, and I think this is going to be the final series in that universe. Fury Bound, which is the second book in the Wolves of Ruin series. So the first book in this series, Dire Bound, it's also on my TBR. I've not read that yet. And again, I feel like with this kind of books, I'll probably wait till this one comes out before I pick up the books so I can just binge them back to back, because I've realized that if I don't binge a series, like binge them, I always feel like I need to do a reread before the new book comes out. For example, with Bride and Maid, I had to reread Bride to kind of get into Maid. The same thing with Quicksilver. I feel like I have to read Quicksilver before I read Brimstone. So to avoid that, this kind of books, I'm just waiting for the second books to be released, and then I'll just read both of them back to back, and at least it doesn't feel like I'm doing like multiple rereads and stuff. I don't know if this makes sense, but to me it kind of makes sense. That's kind of how I'm handling my reread. The next book is The Wings That Bind. This is the third book in the Bloodwing Academy. So this is a vampire fae romantasy, and also kind of like a dark academia setting as well, so it's kind of a nice full picture. I've started the first book in this series, which is The Wings of Blood. So when I read the first book, I probably like wait to this third book because it comes out in March, so I might start reading the second book in like February or something, just before the third one comes out, so I don't feel like I have to do a reread. So if I read this now, I don't think I'm going to forget everything in 3 months. I'm not that bad. The new series by Elsa Silver, Fever Dream, basically completed a lot of our series now. So the Chestnut Springs series is finished, the Rose Hill finished this year, so this is a new one, and this is set in the same universe as well. It's fair, they're all interconnected because all our series are, there's characters that connect in all the series, so it's becoming like a Elsa Silver universe. The FMC in this book is Theo's younger sister. Theo was in the Chestnut Springs series, and I think the MMC is a bull rider and is a rival of Theo as well, so it's going to be like some kind of enemies to lovers kind of thing, or like soft enemies to lovers kind of vibe. Broken Dove. Okay, the second book in the Silver Elite series. So this is a dystopian fantasy book. So the first book in the series, which is Silver Elite, I basically started this book and then I got distracted and read another book. Again, my old theory is to read these two back to back, and then I'll be kind of be up to date. And I don't really read a lot of dystopian fantasy books. And I remember when I picked this book up the first time, which I know why I took a break from it, is because I just finished reading Hunger Games, and I love Hunger Games, like a 6-star series for me. So reading this after that was kind of, it felt unfair. So it's basically comparing them back to back. Mistakes Were Made by Lucy Score. This is the second book in the Story Lake series. I love Lucy Score. I love her style of writing. Like, I love her books. She really does small town romance really well. She also does mafia romance really well as well. She does waffle a lot because her books are quite thick, and they don't need to be that thick. Why does a contemporary romance book need to be 500 pages? Like, are you saying 500 pages? Like, I'm saying that now, this is actually 560 pages. Oh my god. Like, so she does waffle on a lot. Hunt the Villain by Rena Kent, which is the second book in the Villain series. So this year, actually, I read a chunk of her catalogue anyway this year. So this is the new series that she's starting, and I cannot wait to start this. The Legacy series, the Legacy of the God series, of that series with all the kids, like God of Fury, God of Malice, God of Pain. That actually wasn't my favorite series, because I feel like compared to what she's written before, this was kind of junior. I don't know if I have to explain that. Like junior, like it was just like baby mafias kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, so this is a Villain series. I think it's going to be a lot darker. The next book, oh my god, this one I am actually like shaking, because I'm like, I can't believe this book is actually coming out. It's In Her Own League by Liz Tomford. She is the author of the Windy City series, which I devoured this year, and this book is, oh my god, you know, I mentioned earlier about like this is the season for coaches. This book is basically about, so in Caught Up, we met the MMC in this book. It was their coach / manager for the baseball team, and when we read that book, we got a tiny little glimpse that the baseball team has a new owner, and the owner is a woman, right? So she's the FMC in this book. So this is going to be very juicy. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this one. I hope we get to see some of our favorite characters from the Windy series. That'll be quite nice. The Knave and the Moon, which is the second book in the Stone Water Kingdom. See, if I'm being honest, I did not know this was going to be a series. The first book in the series is The Night and the Moth, which is on my TBR still. And I didn't think it was going to be a series. I thought it was going to be a standalone. The premise of this looks really good. It's giving rom-com. It says it's a mix between Christina Lauren, who I love, and Annabelle Monaghan, who I love, the authors I love. It's called Happy Ending. There's a chef in this. I just think this will be a good vibe. Yeah, and this is like a best friend fake dating trope. So I'm like, okay, this will be quite nice. Like, you know, let's try a new author next year. This is quite great. Another new author I'm looking to explore next year, Elizabeth May. The book is The Wolf and the Crown of Blood. This is a brand new series, the first book in the Broken Accord series, and this is given a fairy tale vibe. If you're a fan of Quicksilver, you will love this. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to read this. I've never read anything by this author before, and the cover just looks great. Now I'm moving on to books that we know they're coming. We don't really have exact release date for. So we have the third book in the Day and Alchemy series. So this is the Quicksilver series. Basically, we don't actually have a title yet, so that is coming out. I'm assuming it's going to come out around the same time as it always does, like maybe like October, November time. The Keeper by Anna Wong. This is the third book in the Gods of Game series. This one I only just added it onto my wish list because I was like, oh my god, it's quite cool. So basically, if you guys know, I just finished reading The Six of Crows. I love that. So this book is like a novella that's coming out in that world. It's called The Darker Shore, graphic novel kind of vibe. So we'll see what that was. That's quite interesting to see. Okay, the next book is another book by a author I've not read before, Half City by Kate Golden. This is the first book in the Arc Academy. This book is basically Demon Hunter Dark Academia. The cover is given like Cassandra Clare vibe. I don't know, it's just giving that vibe. And this book we're following an FM said that she's a demon hunter basically because she was trained by her dad, and her dad passed away, so now she's going to the school to kind of learn how to be a demon hunter, but she also has a secret. So this is quite nice. It just stood out to me. The cover stood out to me, the premise of this stood out to me. We're actually on the finish now. We have 2 more books left. The Woman from Nowhere by Christian Ashley. This is the 5th book, Misted Pine series. So this series is like a murder mystery romance series, which I've been enjoying so much. This series are all standalone, interconnected standalone. They're all set in the same town. I don't really know what the characters are. Is it going to be a surprise? Because basically she always introduced us to these new characters in this town that we haven't even met before. So this is quite interesting. So the last book is also by Christian Ashley, and it's perfect in every way. This is the 2nd book in the Manor and Mystery series. So this, I didn't know this was going to be a series. I actually have the first book in the series. Too good to be true. Basically, that's the first book in the series. If you've read Ghost and Reincarnation series, this is kind of that vibe. So I'm very excited for this. As I said, I didn't know this was going to be a series because the first book, I'm telling you, came out in 2023. So guys, that is it. Those are all the books I'm really excited to read or excited for their releases in 2026. Let me know if any of these books are on your radar. Let me know in the comment. If there's any books I've missed, let me know in the comments as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next Bookmas video. Bye.